Hi there. So tonight I got a request to actually do a video on my Scream Factory releases, to talk a bit about the company Scream Factory, to go through and go over all of my Scream Factory releases. So I haven't got my camera mounted yet, and as you can see, I'm doing it in a different area here tonight. You can actually see my projectors in the background. So the thing is, my movie library is actually being deconstructed. So there's not a lot left around there right now. So we're probably going to be doing some videos up here in my, I guess in my sitting room, my reading room, where I have some of my other movies and stuff at. And in case you're kind of wondering how exactly, how big of a video it is for me to do my Scream Factory collection, well, so yeah, we got a lot to go through. All right, so the one good thing about sitting down is, hold on a second, that at least when it's a video like this, of this magnitude, I can rest a bit and not be as hyper, because it's been a very long night. I had a very long work day today, probably the longest since I started my job, and it was intense. Now, no, I'm bypassing like the movie vlog type of thing, basically, because I'm not in the movie library, and I got a request about Scream Factory, and if I would go through with my Scream Factory releases, if I'd have a talk about the company Scream Factory. So due to the fact that I'm packing up all my stuff to move over to my new house, I thought that would be kind of like the perfect time to do this. Now, if you're not familiar with my channel and you're just finding it through this Scream Factory thing, welcome. And I apologize in advance for the length that this video is probably going to take. I started collecting Scream Factory from the beginning, and originally I didn't quite know if I was going to collect them through DVD or through Blu-ray, because I wasn't totally on the Blu-ray bandwagon at that point. I still collected kind of a combination of Blu-rays and DVDs. I still do collect DVDs and Blu-rays as well. I don't believe that once this new, this new technology comes out, like Blu-ray or 4K or whatever, you close the door on the on what you were collecting before. I think it's I find it kind of really, it's kind of silly when you hear somebody and you know the type one it is, because it's this same person that, or like DVD, this is it, this is the way, or going Blu-ray, this is it, I'm not collecting anything but Blu-ray, and then 4K, but then they're, anyway, I wasn't sure. So when the original one came out, it was this one here, it was Halloween 2. There was actually Halloween 2 and Halloween 3, I got that one here as well. And you can see it had this kind of blue border. And when I first saw the blue border, I was iffy on it. I was iffy on the border. And so to give you an idea, they also had DVDs. And the DVDs didn't have a blue border. They actually had the kind of the pure art. And due to that, and sometimes, in the case of Psycho 2 and Psycho 3, it was a cost thing as well. Because there was no extra features on it, and Psycho 2 and Psycho 3 were good remasters. They had like commentaries on there that are really good, actually. Like, I picked up the Blu-ray for, like, say, really wanted the DVD, because I knew I wanted Psycho 2 and Psycho 3, but I wasn't quite sure if I wanted them Blu-ray, if they were Blu-ray or not. They were on sale. Actually, there was an HMV at the time, and Psycho 2 was $25 on its own for the Blu-ray, and so was Psycho 3, 25 or 30 actually, and Psycho 2 and 3, like on DVD, were I think $20 for the two of them. So it made it kind of easy to make that decision when I knew I was getting the exact same film. So when I started out, I was collecting a combination of each. So with that being said, even before I get into that, I also collect a few Shout Factory stuff. Now, a lot of it I got packed away. So I can't show you everything that I got with Shout Factory. I started collecting Shout Factory through the Roger Corman releases, and just today they actually announced that they're doing The Unborn. So actually really excited about that. But I do have a few Shout Factory releases here that I'll show you before I actually get into the Scream Factory Blu-rays. This video is going to be totally Scream Factory, guys, and I hope you guys enjoy that. I'm not going to take too long on each one, but I do want to. I'm not just going to just show you and just not give any context to it. I don't like that when I see that in a video myself, so I don't want to do that on my own channel. And one of the Shout Factories that I did grab is this Captain America. Now, this is like the 2 TV films that came out with Red Brown, Captain America and Captain America. I think this was Death Too Soon? Yeah, Death Too Soon, which actually starred Christopher Lee. And back in the day, when I was like a young, I wasn't a movie pro, I was like little movie guy. I love these Captain America movies, I really did. They used to have them at my local Cornbrook Video, and he had them on VHS. I was renting them all the time. Now there was a small makeshift video store in my area as well, where I lived. I lived in a small area, kind of like a fishing village. It's kind of like I had that whole like anime manga thing going on with it, the cool Kung Fu Ninja part of it, that type of thing, right? But I would rent, like, they had a few. They had like the Captain America ones. They had Spider-Man, I think the Chinese Connection, something like that. And because it had the guy from Goldfinger on it. But I love these. So when I saw this, there was no features on it. I was actually disappointed in that. But it's both films. And where else are you going to get to see Christopher Lee playing a Mexican terrorist by the name of Miguel? I kid you not. That really is the way that they decided to go with this. Captain America is kind of he kind of trick you a bit, because he's not the original Captain America. He's actually the son of Steve Rogers. You get to hear that in there as well, and they're really fun films. They're just really fun. I think I was big into motorcycles at the time. Motorcycle stunts were kind of cool. And if you've ever seen the 1990 Matt Salinger Captain America, these are better, actually. These are a lot better. Are you a scream or a shout? You're a shout. So this one is one that is inexplicably, I think it was probably mistakenly a shout video. There's a couple that are mistakenly shout videos. And that is Disturbing Behavior. It's a kind of cool 90s one. It's got a great little soundtrack. Cool cast. I did really like this movie. I think it's underrated. And Nick Stahl's great in this film. He really is. Love Disturbing Behavior. If you haven't seen it, it's really worth checking out. Think of it in kind of like the Body Snatchers, maybe even Get Out type of a vibe to it. You know what I mean? One of my favorite comedies of all time is Kentucky Fried Movie. Yeah, I have very juvenile humor, but it's the Abrams and Zuckers. So this is one of the original ones that they did, and it has some. Now it's got some more. It's not for kids. There's like nudity in it and stuff like that, but it is fun. It is cheesy, and it is it's fairly harmless. I really like. There's a lot of stars in this one. You have like guys like Donald Sutherland, Bill Bixby, George Lazenby, Henry Gibson's in this one here. This is great. And there's a great interview on this, like a conversation with David and Jerry Zucker, and that runs about an hour long. There's also great commentary, and I'm actually seriously thinking of watching Kentucky Fried Movie tonight because I've had a really hard, rough day, and this may be just what the doctor ordered. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm a huge fan of like the martial arts films, Bruce Lee films, kind of the cheesy stuff, and Leroy Green know that as well. So I got their Fists of Fury. These here went out of print. Now I got Fists of Fury because this is one that I really enjoy. It's a favorite of mine. And I also got Return of the Dragon because I really like the fights in this film. There's some really good fights. I got the other two, as you'll see, in a different way. But really was looking forward to. Love these. Glad to have special. These are the Shout Selects. Shout Select is a company kind of like an offshoot where they can do like a lot of different stuff. So a movie that may not fit into Scream Factory. It kind of fits into Shout, but you want to give it like it's more of a marquee type of labeling. That's where these Shout Selects come in, and these are really good. I wish I had the other two. The first Shout Select that I ever bought was Nighthawks. Nighthawks is, again, another favorite film of mine. I'm a huge Rutger Hauer fan. I always have been. As a blonde growing up, most of the actors that I noticed that I saw on TV where they were dark-haired guys. And I really enjoyed Rutger Hauer. I enjoyed him in Blade Runner. I thought he was the best part of Blade Runner. He steals Nighthawks. He really does. And he would have stolen it even more if actually, and it's said on here, Sylvester Stallone wasn't kind of jealous of Rutger Hauer and his talent. This was Rutger Hauer's first North American film, and it was obvious that he was a talent to be reckoned with, and Sylvester Stallone actually felt threatened by that and rewrote some stuff to make the film more Stallone-centric. And it's a really, really good movie. If you haven't seen it, I really recommend that you check this out. Got some great features on here as well, some great interviews. We sat down, we watched the movie, listened to all the interviews. Fascinating, really belongs in everybody's collection. Nighthawks, I'm 100% serious on this. When it comes to like the kind of the buddy comedy, on-the-run movies type of thing, then, well, people usually think 48 Hours. But another really, really good one that stands out to me that I really like, and it just has a great sense of comedy, a great sense of action, and that is Robert De Niro and Charles Grodin in Midnight Run. And of course there would be another Midnight Run, which wouldn't be as good as this, and there would actually be a TV series, a Midnight Run TV series. But this is the definitive film here, and if you don't have this one in your collection, it does belong there. Midnight Run is a really, really good film, and I strongly recommend it. If you like comedy action type films, that's what Midnight Run is. Before they got into like the later stuff with Rush Hour with Joe Pesci, they got really annoying. This is kind of it's got the Joe Pesci type of thing, but he's not annoying like the Joe Pesci character gets in I think it's the Rush Hour films. It's Rush Hour, right? Or am I getting it mixed up with someone else? If you like revenge films, and you like ones that you don't mind ones that get a wee bit on the slimy type, sleazy type, rapey side, this is actually a really good film, and it's a Charles Bronson one. It is Death Wish 2. Now, Michael Winner, we all know he's got certain issues, and certain things show in a lot of his films, and that's, Death Wish 2 is no exception. There actually are two cuts of the film. There's the theatrical and the unrated cut. Now, with more, I guess, rapiness or stuff. But no, I actually really did like Death Wish 2. One of the things that... Death Wish is a fantastic film. One of the things that bothered me about Death Wish, because I kind of want the action thing, and I know they were going for the social commentary. He doesn't get revenge on the people that does it to him. He cracks, we get the breaking point, and you're kind of left kind of wondering, did he do the right thing? None of that in here. No, these are straightforward after Death Wish 1. Forget all the moral ambiguity. No, it's going straight for revenge, and each film gets more cartoonish than the last. I think the fourth is the last really good one. The fifth one is kind of like a cheesy one made in Canada that I have basically because it's a exploitation action film. But Death Wish 2 still, I thought, was really good, a little over the top, but in a good way. I enjoyed Death Wish 2, and again, this is not one of the Shout Selects one, but it's one that Shout put out, and I got it during the HMV's final run. One that I was really excited to get was this one right here, I Am Bruce Lee. This was a documentary on Bruce Lee that was put out, and I think this showed on Spike TV, the Spike channel, because he had a bunch of MMA, like mixed martial artists on there talking about it. I really did enjoy this one. I don't think it's a definitive documentary on Bruce Lee by any stretch of the imagination, but I think it's a really good one. It's a really fun one. I don't think is a definitive. Is there a definitive documentary on Bruce Lee yet? This one's really good, and I like some of the ways that they took it. But I like to get even more in depth. I like to get a really, really in depth documentary on Bruce Lee, and maybe just martial arts in general. There are some out there, but there's not one yet that I think has hit that sweet spot in the way that Crystal Lake Memories, or Never Sleep Again has done for for horror documentaries. Now there's some great ones. Rick Myers did a really good one, but I think it could have gotten more in depth, and we could have found it even more. And that's like a testament to what Rick Myers did when he did his one, his basically his documentary and all that stuff. But anyway, Braddock Missing in Action 3. I've got the other Missing in Action movies on. It's on an MGM set with Chuck Norris MGM set where they had like 5 films on it. I'm a big fan of the Missing in Action films. They're fun. They're cheesy. Chuck Norris, as nutty as Chuck Norris is now, he was a really good action star. And is this one of the, not the best one? Honestly, I really like the one that's considered the weakest, Missing in Action 2, is probably the one that I liked the best back in the days. But we'll check this out again sometime soon, and we'll do it. Because as you guys know, or you don't know, do you? Oh, I am going to be doing a series of movie reviews, like DVD, Blu-ray reviews, called the Cannon Chronicles. I'm going to be looking into Cannon films and some of their more fun or more infamous releases. And hope that's something that you look forward to. I'm actually we haven't even gotten to the Scream Factory yet. I got to get it faster. Chuck Norris Invasion USA. Love this movie. Super cheesy. If you don't have this movie in your collection, you're an action movie fan, get it. It belongs there. Night Riders. Again, I like George Romero. This is a very different film. I really don't know how to describe it. Just go in, just experience it. It's not like Things where experience a bad movie. I actually really enjoyed this. It was a different film. Great cast in this one here. And it's a longer film. It's a bit of a sit, but I actually liked it. I actually enjoyed Night Riders. Enjoyed it a lot. Remember the other Cat in America, that movie that I told you about? Yeah, this is it here. Matt Salinger. This is the Red Skull. Actually, that's pretty cool for back in the day. This is done in the 90s, I think. So yeah, 1990. So that's actually really good for then. But Red Skull has an Italian accent. I kid you not. Next up is Roger Corman's Cult Classics. This is one that I got on DVD and Blu-ray because both me and my better half are huge fans of this film. It's a favorite of ours. This is the reason we're so excited that the sequel is coming out from Scream Factory, and that is Piranha. We are amazing Piranha fans. We love this movie. We like the second one even better, actually, to be honest with you. The spawning, it's really cool. They fly, it's awesome. And I like Piranha. I like the remake movies as well. I thought they were fun, especially the first one. But if you've never seen Piranha, you got to see Piranha. It's fun. It's cheesy. So with that being said, those are the Shout Factory ones that I want to talk about. And let's get into my Scream Factory stuff. Now, I didn't do this in categories or anything like that. Basically, what I did is my non-collector's editions, followed by, well, I got my DVDs first, then my non-collector's editions. Then I'll get into my collector's editions. I'll start with the blue bands, and then I'll get into the ones and when they change from blue bands to the regular, like, full artwork ones. So let's start off with the Scream Factory stuff. And let's start with the regulars. There's one other Shout Factory one here that I wanted to get out, and that one is one that I think everybody who likes cheesy movies like I do, like if you're watching my channel, 9/10 out of 10, especially if you're watching like my Vinegar Syndrome stuff and my cheesier movie stuff, you're probably like a B-grade Z-grade movie fan like me. This one here that definitely belongs in your collection, and it is a 4 sci-fi movie marathon. It's got Arena, which is kind of really fun cheese, Eliminators, which I recommend as well, America 3000, and The Time Guardian. Now, The Time Guardian actually has Carrie Fisher, the late Carrie Fisher, in it. Tom Burlinson, who was in, of course, The Man from Snowy River. And I think Dean Stock was in this one. Yeah. So anyway, there's some great stuff there. I think America 3000 has Lauren Landon, the blonde girl from Maniac Cop. I think she's in this one as well. But again, these are 4 really cool films. They're actually put on 2 discs. Now, originally when I had this, it was basically one disc was on one side, one disc was on the other, but that was it broke. It was broke when I got it, so I actually traded it out into another double feature disc. I have a couple of the non-big ones, so I got Dead Shadows. I as you can see, I bought this one at a movie store that was closing out, and I think it's one of the chiller ones that they did. It's not one of the like the regular like Scream Factory, not one of the classics. I've seen the trailer and I don't think I've watched the movie, not totally anyway. Monkey's Paw's another one I picked up, was like $9 at Walmart during Halloween one year, and it looked kind of interesting, kind of fun, but I've never really watched it, so I can't tell you a lot on that film. The ones I can talk about a bit more coming up. First up is they put out 2 all-night horror marathons, and these are really good, especially for for guys like me that review movies a lot. These things are fantastic because you get like 4 movies, and especially around Halloween time, you want to get something different that's kind of unusual and like doesn't go, it's not always Halloween or Friday 13th. Like I'll do those franchises as well, but you want to find something that's a little different out there and review something that's different than everybody else. Hopefully people watch those. A lot of times to be honest with you, those, you go out of your way and you actually put a lot of work into videos where, especially when it's kind of quirky and different, you're hoping that somebody will pick up on that, and that hasn't seen your channel, or they'll appreciate the fact that you're not reviewing just the mainstream stuff. But I find, I'll be honest with you guys, a lot of times I find that people hit on the mainstream stuff a lot more, and my smaller reviews on movies that not a lot of people heard about, sometimes, unless they were like ones that came out that week that people were collecting, they kind of fall by the wayside, which is why I actually ended up doing a podcast style of video where I could review lesser known films and put it in with a kind of like kind of a smorgasbord, a potpourri of different things that I could do. And well, without further ado, these were actually really good for that. So the first one here, God, what's the matter with Helen? Aunt Helen or Helen? What's the matter with Helen? The Vagrant, which actually, I like The Vagrant a lot. I got to review that one, actually. The Outing, which is kind of fun, and The Godsend. So, 4 fun, cheesy films. But the second volume, I think, is better. We got Dungeon Master, which is a favorite of mine. I watched that a lot when I was a kid. I got to review Dungeon Master. It's fun. It's cheesy fun, and it's one that deserves a good review. Cellar Dweller, again, that's another one I used to watch. I rented that a lot when I was a kid. Contaminations, Plane 7, I don't remember that one so much. Catacombs, I kind of remember. Those were actually kind of cool. So I haven't really watched these yet. I've watched some of them, but I haven't watched them all. And if I was going to like do a review on some of those there, and by the way, if any of those interest you and you want to see me review them, then definitely let me know, and we'll get into that. We'll get into reviewing those. So here's the collector's editions that I got before I started doing getting the big ones. So the first one I got was Deadly Blessing. As you can see, it still has, I'm very proud when they have the stickers like that on. It still has the sticker, and this is an underrated Wes Craven film. It's one that I really like. I pimp it out to people, and people say, what's a good Wes Craven film that I mightn't have seen? And a lot of people say, well, did you see Scream or did you see this? But no, Deadly Blessing, highly underrated. Love this film. Great, great film. Next up are the 2 Psycho films that they put out. The first 2. Psycho 2 and Psycho 3. Now, at the time when they put these out, I was really excited because I said, hey, can you put out Psycho 4 at the beginning? And they, over and over again to me, and many people said, no, we're never putting out Psycho 4 at the beginning. We'll get to that. But these 2 are actually really good ones. Commentaries are great on these. Psycho 2 is a highly underrated sequel. When you talk about sequels that really stand up there, that are really, really good, way, way better than they should have been, that could have been a complete dumpster fire, then you're thinking of what Psycho 2 might have been. But it's not that. It's not that at all. It's a brilliantly fantastic film. And it goes in ways that you maybe wouldn't expect. Norman is actually pretty sympathetic in the Psycho film. So there's a bit of a surprise, but it actually works. He does it well. Things falling off me now. And in Psycho 3, they go in the slasher. Anthony Perkins actually directs this one. It goes cheesier. It becomes more of a slasher film. It's a bit sleazier, but it works. There's things on this that really shouldn't work. but it does. Both these films are actually really, really good sequels. Psycho 2 is, head and tails, in my opinion, over Psycho 3, but I think both of these are fantastic little films and great watches, ones that I would strongly and highly recommend. When it comes to the collector stuff, when I bought Deadly Blessing, I also bought this one here, The Funhouse. Now, this showed up at Walmart. I was really surprised. It's probably one of my less favorite covers. Over time, I think that what he was going for when he did this is is to make them kind of look, tell me if you think this, like they would if you were seeing them through a Funhouse mirror. But when you really see it first and you don't, there's no really context to it, it looks like the drawing looks a little sloppy and off center and stuff. But upon further review and thought, I think it's kind of like, it's supposed to be like distorted. It's supposed to be kind of a Funhouse mirror type of look. So I'm going to go with that anyway, and hope that's what they meant for. They meant for it. Now, this is the one I watched again recently, The Howling. The Howling is something I go back to a lot. I'm a huge fan of werewolf films and love The Howling. This is a great one. Great effects. Rob Picardo plays a fantastic werewolf. He just is incredible. Everybody in this is great. You get like a cameo by Roger Corman. Dee Wallace is fantastic in this. We got her husband Christopher Stone. I think it was her fiancé at the time. Christopher Stone's in this. Belinda Blasky, I'm looking at here because there's so many people. Kevin McCarthy, John Carradine, Patrick McNee is in this one. Great role in there as well. I was so in love with her. She's unfortunately passed away. But I think that a lot of guys were the scene in the woods. So let's get into some of these here, and I'll let you guys see some stuff that I got and that I really feel. So when I'll skip over, well, I'll go through them all, but some of them I'll spend more time on than others because I don't want to make it too long of a video for tonight. I got to work tomorrow, and I got a long day again tomorrow. So but I promised this video, and I really wanted to do it. So Pumpkinhead 2, Blood Wings. A lot of people don't like this sequel. One of my friends actually won't even acknowledge that this exists. And I'm like, well, you must really. And that was back when there was only Pumpkinhead 2. Can you imagine what he thinks with 3 and 4? But I do think this is fun. A lot of stunt casting in this film, of course. It's different. It's a little bit cheesier. My better half actually likes this one better than the first one, which most people would say is sacrilege. But the first one bothered her a bit, of course, with the kid, and but she's more sensitive to the horror aspects of films than me. I have fun with some of the stuff. But I really liked Blood Wings 2. I thought it was a really Pumpkinhead 2. I thought it was a really good one. Now, gotta watch this one again. This is because Jimmy Sangster did the screenplay for this one here, and this is The Legacy. It's been a while since I've seen The Legacy. I bought this one, and I'm like, want to spend some time reviewing a bunch of these films, and this is one of the ones that I bought for review because I hadn't seen it in a while, and I'm a huge fan of the actress actually. Catherine Ross is in this, and of course, Stepford Wives. I'll talk about it more in a future video. I reviewed this one with my oldest. This is New Year's Evil. It is a great freaking slasher film. It's really highly underrated. The girl that played Pinky in Happy Days is in this one. You think that she's like the final girl, but you think the final girl would be the focus, but no, the slasher character is the focus of it, and it's not like a perfect slasher character, kind of like predating Scream. This is a slasher character that messes up a lot, and his modus operandi actually makes little sense. It's really silly, but it works. It works for the film, and it works really, really well. I'm a big fan of New Year's Evil. If you haven't seen it, really do check it out, and it's a good one. How many horror movies you got for New Year's anyway? This is actually a really cool one. Final Terror was a movie that basically I thought was way better than it gets credit for. It's got a great cast. It's probably mostly known for the cast. Adrian Zamet is in this. Daryl Hannah, of course, was famous for doing Splash at this time. Joe Pantoliano's in this, right? Yeah, Joe Pantoliano's in this one as well. It's a really, really good film. Mark Metcalf is in this one. Now, it was not like the slashery type that that like a Friday the 13th that would be. And the studio really knew it because they actually put some extra deaths in the film that really did make a lot of sense, but they kind of tacked them on at the beginning. And the movie actually kind of sat on the shelves for a while before it actually did come out. But it's a really fun film, kind of underrated. The Town That Dreaded Sundown. Now, as much as I love this film, I didn't buy it for this one here. Now, the other one, this one's got an extra film that's only on the DVD, but now it has its own Blu-ray release. If there's extra features that aren't on I'll probably get it, and that is The Evictors. Now, me and my cousin Raj, we rented and watched The Evictors one night when we were kids, and it terrified us. It really did. We were like, laugh all you want, but it really did terrify us at that time. Town That Dreaded Sundown is a fun film. It's got that, spooky looking, and it's based on a true story. Charles B. Pierce did both The Evictors and Town That Dreaded Sundown. Great film. Some really cool special features on here. To get The Evictors on its own, I mean, like, yes, there's a Blu-ray out, but it's really good to have this. And as you can see, there's the Town That Dreaded Sundown got its own Blu-ray, and the DVD has the Town That Dreaded Sundown and The Evictors on here as well. So here's one I haven't watched yet, so I'm not going to pretend that I've seen it. And that is You'll Like My Mother. HMV was closing up. I was grabbing all the Scream Factories I could, and I liked the psychological thriller ones, and this kind of stood out. It really did. You'll Like My Mother stood out. It's got Richard Thomas in it, and Patty Duke. I think it might be a TV release, actually, a TV thriller. And if it's an early TV thriller, I like those. There's a lot of really good ones, really highly underrated stuff. You think people... One of the things that annoys me with some horror reviewers is they'll put on like a huge thing about horror it's got to be R-rated and it's hardcore, and I like my gore films, my horror films, and stuff like that as well. But they're good, like non-R-rated. It's a shock, but there's good non-R-rated horror films out there. Some actually really, really cool stuff, and some of that stuff can actually turn out to be creepier than some stuff with a bucket of blood there. Remember when I said this wasn't going to come out? Yeah. I think it was Cliff McMillan does what he said. He was never putting this out type of thing. So he put this out, and I'm glad he did. I really thank you, Cliff, for that. It's a cool one. So Psycho 4 at the beginning. I really do like this film. A lot of people hate on this film a lot, and especially before Bates Motel came out. Now, some more people kind of jumped on the Psycho 4 bandwagon after Bates Motel. Well, I was a big fan of it from the beginning. I really was. I thought that there were some really neat places that could go with it. And I thought they could make a TV series based on young Norman Bates back when I saw Psycho 4. So, looks like, yeah. I feel very justified now. I don't mind saying that. I do. I feel extremely justified. There's Psycho 4, Bates Motel, 6 seasons, and it rocked. So there we go. Psycho 4 at the beginning. And actually, it's really good. I actually like the framing story, too. Here's one that you can only get if you go into the website. There are certain ones that they release on Blu-ray only on the Shout Factory site, the Shout Factory site. Shout Factory is the parent company, Scream Factory. The only problem with that is their shipping can be a bit high and stuff. They're getting better, but their sales used to be really, really good, and I would buy every week. I'd save up a little bit of money during their big summer sale. They have a month-long sale, and Summer Fear would be the Summer Fear sale. Every week I'd get have a stack of Scream Factories come, and that's one of the reasons I have so many right now. But over time, the sale has lessened, and you got less and less movies being put out. There's less and less, and there'd be an amount that would change every week. And usually 6. There'd be 6 that would change every week, and there'd be some older releases that say you haven't missed out on. They'd be there for an even cheaper price. So I could say I can buy 2 or 3 of the ones that were higher priced, and buy a couple of the ones that were lower priced. Get a nice little package of Scream Factories for a decent price. I find that's gone up a little bit too much right now. But at that time they had a big anniversary sale one year. It was last year, and I got this one here, Up From the Depths. Again, like I said, I like Piranha. I love these here type of... I love nature, water, monster films. I really do. Speaking of which, Double features, Scream Factory does them and they do them well. So Tentacles and Reptilicus are two fun, cheesy ones. Now, a lot of these here, like a lot of the newer special features, don't have a lot of newer double features don't have any special features on them, and it's a shame. But still, it's two like really kind of cool, fun, cheesy films for like usually a pretty low price. I wish these had special features. If all the ones that don't have special features, I wish they had special features. These are the ones right here. So, Witchery and Clown House, Ghost House, no. Great, fun films from the La Casa series, and look that up. But I really do like Witchery. It is super crazy. It's got David Hasselhoff and Linda Blair, and yeah, it does. And Ghost House creeped me out when I was a kid. There's just like I'm not big for clowns, so there's this clown doll. See that? It's terrifying. I'm telling you, that's terrifying. Pick it up. It's a great one. Scanners 2 and Scanners 3. I think I ordered this one through, my better half got this one as a surprise for me during my birthday through Barnes & Noble, because I think this is one of the ones that you couldn't get as a double feature here in Canada. There's a couple. There's Scanners 2 and Scanners 3, and there's Carrie, I think, 2 and Carrie, the TV one. I don't think I've got that one. I really do need that one. With Scanners 2 and Scanners 3, they're really cheesy. The New Order and Takedown, they're not great films. They were put up by Pierre David. He does a lot of like films like shot in Ontario, like basically like North American films, straight to DVD, straight to video type stuff that you know people would rent. That he knew people would rent. It was kind of like think of Pierre David. He did a lot of stuff, kind of like a Charles Band type guy. He did a lot of that type of stuff. Now, back when they were putting a lot of like work into like their the double features, they put out this beast here, Terror Vision and The Video Dead. Actually, two movies that I really truly adore. Terror Vision, I think, is actually a really good film. It's like a pre-Full Moon Charles Band film, Empire Pictures. And of course, there's The Video Dead, which is super cheesy, super bad, but I really, really like it. And features. So as you can see, the other ones didn't have any features. This one has a ton of features on each one, and I really like that. This is one I got the DVD of, but they had extra features on the Blu-ray, and I had to have it because I'm a huge fan of both of these films, and that is Bad Dreams and Visiting Hours. Bad Dreams with Jennifer Rubin and Richard Lynch. Really, really cool film. And of course, Visiting Hours has the great Michael Ironside in here, and I'm a huge, huge Michael Ironside fan. I think Lee Remick is in Visiting Hours as well. But, you know, Lee Grant. But who really matters? Michael Ironside, because Michael Ironside rocks, and he's really cool. If you like the Haunted House ones, definitely pick up Legend of Hell House. Again, another really cool one. Great cast in Legend of Hell House. Nomads with Pierce Brosnan. Love the cover there. Now, the movie doesn't live up to the hype you see of the cover you see. I wish I could tell you it did, but it's one that I remember like seeing a lot when I was younger, and like going to rent and like not renting it or getting something else, or being freaked out by that cover there, and not picking it up. I wish I had, but I didn't. Next up is actually House 3, otherwise known as, well, The Horror Show. It's what it was called here. And again, I think this is Brian James, right? Brian James in this one? Yeah, Brian James, Lance Henriksen. Great little film. You think it's going to be more brutal than this. The ending is kind of like, it's kind of pat, but it's a really fun film. Brian James really commits to the role, and he does a really good job in it. Speaking of committing to the role and doing a really great job, Prison. If you haven't seen this one, this slipped on your radar, definitely pick it up. It's an early role for Viggo Mortensen. Kane Hodder did some work in this film as well. This one is done by Renee Harlin. Definitely check out Prison. One of my favorite releases that Scream Factory put out, and it's not one that is probably more like people know it, but it's not as well known as some of the like their bigger releases or the collector's editions. But it's one that I do think that deserves to be in everyone's collection, and that is a little movie called Ghost Story. I really like this. I love the Peter Straub book, and you can't get all the stuff that's in the Peter Straub book into the movie. It just really is impossible. Maybe a TV version of the film, if they wanted to go that way and like to really like weave in all those different like those plots and ideas that was in the original Ghost Story book by Peter Straub. I get that. But this is a great little film. It's got a very old school feel, and it's got an old school cast. We got like Fred Astaire, Melvin Douglas, Douglas Fairbanks Jr., John Houseman's in this one, Alice Creek, Craig Wasson. It is a fantastic cast. It's a beautiful little ghost story. It really is just kind of a classic ghost story. It does a great job, and if you haven't seen it, I do recommend that you check out Ghost Story. It's a really good film. Speaking of really good kind of ghost stories, you might want to check out, I really like this one, but they had director's cut, extended director's cut, and original theatrical cut. So there's 3 versions of the film on here. I haven't seen this one in ages, but I love this one when I saw it originally, and I really got to get back and watch it again, and that is Lady in White. This is a really, really good one. This came out when I was younger, so I think it was in 86, 88? 88. But I remember watching this one. I remember this left an impression with me, and definitely check it out. As far as double features go, this is one of my favorites. It hands down is one of my favorites. I just love these 2 films. They're very cheesy, and it's X-Ray with Barbi Benton, and of course Skitside. And Skitside plays like a mystery, but unfortunately, because this is the DVD copy, it's super cleaned up. You see who the killer is pretty early on. It doesn't have to be very eagle-eyed to do that, but just enjoy the film, enjoy the ride. There's a great cast in Skitside, by the way. There's a ton of people. X-Ray is such a fun, cheesy film. There's like so many laugh-out-loud moments in X-Ray. Okay, so it cut off right there. Just I was talking about like how cool and attractive Barbi Benton is in X-Ray, and I'm going to do something that I don't do very often. And let's go. We're going to go for a part 2. I got to go drink my tea. I'm going to come back. I'll be refreshed, and we're going to go over more of my Scream Factory collection. We got a lot to go through, guys, and it's going to be a fun night.